Shalom, shalom, akim, Yahawashi Shah Barakatham, Bashim Kokwadash, call Haloyim, Yahawashi Shai, call Haloyim, Yahawashi Shai, Bashim Kokwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Shalom to the akim out there and the elect. Of course, that's the men, women, and children selected to make it out. Complete destruction, all right? And bear with me from this, all right? I'm the brothers of Yon Olive, the DC camp, coming at you with another video based off a response that was recently received, all right? As you can see, it says Ruth was a Moabite, not an Israelite, part 4, a series that myself and the beautiful brother, Priest Pashai, had put up years ago, back in 2014, as a response to ISUPK saying that Ruth was an Israelite. All right. Now, remind you, this is part 4. We had a series going into the fact, we went into the scriptures going to the fact that Ruth was indeed a Moabite. We went to the word, we went through everything. All right. And yet you have ISUPK that don't believe it, and other Israelites out there that don't believe it as well, to include this individual right here. All right. Blur Boy, number Blur Boy. Okay. And basically, like me and this brother in the camp, the priest Shamar Moth, we were talking how, basically everything that we teach, you have people that teach just the exact opposite. Like it's just whatever, it's almost like it's whatever GMS teaches, like, everybody else teaches different. That's the crazy part, man. Like we teach one way and everybody else, they got to teach different. They teach certain basics that are the same, but when it comes to things that are spiritual, everything else is different, man. And that's just how it is, man. All right. All right. Somebody got to have the truth. And I believe we're the ones who have the truth. All right. This is the Blur Boy again. It says, you brothers are incorrect. Ruth was an Israelite. Okay. So I said, okay, do a video on it and break it down, send a link too. Now, only reason why I'm entertaining this response, because earlier I said, okay, we'll check the link. Is this your video? Now, mind you, we were going back and forth here and there. It's been a couple of hours, here and there and stuff like that. And then after I sent this, you can see now the person hasn't responded. Maybe they'll respond later, whatever. But right now, the person hasn't responded. Okay. And keep this in mind when I said, is this your video? Because I said, they said no Moabite into the 10th generation. I'm sure you're familiar with the verse, Deuteronomy 23:3. The Ruth story will not add up the way you broke the matter down. The For Israel video, Ruth, the story you haven't heard, 2017, breaks down the story much more in detail. Okay. All right. So I said, so are you going to do a video on it and break it down? And are you going, and can, in your video, and on your video, can you address to the 10th generation as he has said? Look, brother, I showed you where to look for the information. Most brothers push this type of false teaching, have personal motives. Many have relationships with heathen females. Now, for you to say that, to throw that out there, all right, you can easily say, well, I'm not saying you guys exactly. I'm just saying many people out there have personal motives. Okay, well, what is our personal motive in teaching that Ruth was a Moabite? Because we teach that salvation is only for the nation of Israel. Okay? Salvation is only for the nation of Israel. Deliverance from the chariot is only for the nation of Israel, man. All right. And they elected that. And we teach that. All right. This is going more. It says, so you have to tell us what our personal motives in the teaching that. He said, let's stay on the subject at hand. Was Ruth the Moabite? You claim yes, and I gave you the link or the leak to the breakdown of the evidence that conveys differently. Text me back when you have looked at the evidence and can debunk it with strong evidence and verses that match your hypothesis. I eagerly wait for your response. And I don't have to do that, but, and there's a reason, all right? I'm going to get into a couple of scriptures. And right here it says, right here, when you look at Blur Boy stuff, it says what? What? This channel has no videos, okay? So mind you, he's telling us that we're wrong, okay? And he's telling us that we're wrong, but he has no videos, all right? And when you go to Isaiah 30:20, it says, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. For you to be saying that we're wrong, let me bring this over here. For you to be saying that we're incorrect and this is right, then you must be a teacher. You have put yourself in the place of a teacher, okay? Or a prophet, all right? So, in that being said, you're supposed to show us and edify on those points. You are, okay? He said, well, I showed you somebody else's information on what is right. Well, how do you know that they're right? All right. This is Galatians 6, verse 4. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. Okay, because he showed me these cats videos for Israel. These videos, Ruth, the story you haven't heard, 2017. All right. But when it comes to him, nothing. It said, let every man prove his own work. All right. And what? That he will rejoice in himself alone, because it's a beautiful thing when you have the understanding of what you're talking about instead of saying, I got it from them. And see, hear this. All right. Why don't you do a video and break it down? Okay. All right. The Lord said, if you love me, feed my sheep. All right. Let's get that, because it's good to push the vibration and show in the scriptures. He said, feed my sheep. He also said, feed my lambs. Slocky didn't mean to say sheep, because lambs actually has it the other way. All right. This is John 21:16. He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahawashi said unto him, feed my sheep. So if you really love Yahawashi, okay, you're going to feed the sheep. You're not going to be hiding, all right, and saying, you know what, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong, that's right, and have nothing backing you up, man. You have no teaching, man, at all. So why should I listen to you? All right, I don't have to. All right, let me get Sirach 37th chapter. Let me get this. Sirach 37, all right, in verse 10. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Why? Because you're going to get a unfair judgment concerning you with these people that are against you. Neither consult with the woman touching her of whom she is jealous. Because a woman that's jealous of another woman is not going to give a fair, reasonable assessment of that woman. Neither with a coward in matters of war. You see that? Neither with a coward in matters of war. All right? And let's look up coward. Coward. One who lacks courage to meet danger or shrinks from the chance of being hurt. You see that? It says, Tagliacci from tail, from Latin coda. Okay, popular dialect variant of coda, tail. All right. It says the word probably reflects an animal metaphoric sense still found in expressions like turning tail and tail between legs. All right. So it's like being a coward, having a tail. Look, as an adjective lacking courage, timorous, man. Okay. All right. So why would we consult with a coward in matters of war? Because we are in warfare. All right. We are in warfare. 2 Corinthians 10:4, for the weapons of our warfare, it says, of our warfare are not carnal, all right, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. So we do have weapons, okay, but it's not carnal. It's through Yahawashi, it's these words, these scriptures, okay? And we do have warfare, okay? They're about to make Israel terrorists, man. Right now, they're about to come against the Israelites and saying, these guys are out there promoting terrorism. Let's do something to these guys. Watch what's going to happen under the Biden administration. All right, they've already gathered a whole bunch of things, and they're still gathering. They're collecting things that they're going to use, okay, against us to demonize us, man. All right, so we are in warfare, okay. So why, in being in warfare and using the word as our sword, why would I consult with somebody who's not using the word as their sword in our warfare? Okay? All right? We're in a time of prophecy, death, and destruction. We're in a time of pestilences, man. They're going to come down with austerity measures soon. Other than this Maxine, they're gonna come out with the RFID chip and measures like that. People ain't gonna be able to work, eat, all types of stuff, and yet you still have guys like this with no videos, but they're telling us that we're wrong. But we're the ones out there teaching, and I can honestly say that through the years of me teaching, all right, on the streets and on these videos, I can honestly say I'm a teacher and a prophet as of now, through the Spirit and being humble. I can say that, all right, because of the works. I can say that. Only going off of what I have done and putting two and two together. Therefore, I must be a teacher and prophet because I'm doing those works. But you yourself saying that we're wrong and you have no works. Okay? You have no works. All right? Now, when you watch our videos, we already go into the aspect of Ruth being a Moabite. So I'm not going to rehash that information. All right? But the story right here, Ruth, the story you haven't heard, feel free to go through this. All right? On their point. A lot of the things they say, for example, they talk about famine, how famine of the word is let's get the one. How famine of the word, because when you go to Ruth, let's actually get Ruth the first chapter. So that's what we base things off of too during this topic. When you actually go to Ruth 1, so now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. Now, see, that was an actual famine that happened. All right. But these guys say it was also a spiritual famine, saying that when somebody goes off and don't receive the word of the Lord, that's a famine. That's not a famine, man, when they don't receive the word of the Lord. This is Amos, matter of fact, Amos 8 and 11. All right, Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. See, behold, the days come. This is prophecy. All right. And anything that deals with prophecy deals with Yahawashi, even though Yahawashi wasn't back then physically, all right, around these times, but he was always there. Okay. Anything dealing with prophecy, the spirit of Yahawashi was there, man. Behold, the days come, said the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. All right. See, that's the famine, but of hearing. So to even hear the words of the Lord, a lack of hearing that is famine, not a lack of receiving it. When you go to Isaiah, the 30th chapter, Isaiah 31, woe to the rebellious children, Slakia, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. All right, jumping down. Verse 9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, still talking about the nation of Israel, that are rebellious, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord. That's not a famine, okay? They're saying they will simply not hear it. The word is there, they just choose to reject it, okay? Would say to the seers, see not, all right? And to the prophets, prophesy not, okay? Unto his right thing. So the word is to them, but they're casting it behind them, all right? It says, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy to cease. So they rather hear lies and wickedness than the truth. So this is not a famine. Okay. All right. And another thing in there, they talk about how it happened during the time of the judges. Okay. Obviously, it happened before there were kings in Israel. Okay. All right. Now, when you go to, say, Judges, the 2nd chapter, okay, after Joshua dies, okay, verse 10, Judges 2 and 10. And also all that generation were gathered unto their fathers, meaning what? They slept. They went back to the spirit world. Okay. The generation under Joshua. Okay. And there arose another generation after them, which knew not the Lord, nor yet the works which he had done for Israel. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and served Balaam. And they forsook the Lord power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods. See, they turned away, said they forsook it. You see? All right. Let's look at that word forsook. Okay. In fact, now cross references. Let's look up the word. All right. It says, and they forsook. Okay. It's an I, a za, and a ba. Izab, Izab, to leave, forsake. Okay, when you forsake something, you leave it. Strong's definitions. Okay, all right. Relinquish. Okay, leave it. You loosen. You let it go. Okay, fail, forsake, fortify, help, leave. Okay, refuse. All right, and that's what they did. Okay, it says, and they refused. They left off. All right, they relinquished the Lord power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt and followed other gods of the gods of the people that were round about them and bowed themselves unto them and provoked the Lord what? To anger. All right. And it says, I'm gonna jump down. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna jump down. It says verse 16. Nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges which delivered them out of the hand. Matter of fact, no, I'm not gonna do that. Verse 13. And they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtaroth. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. And that's the reason why we're in captivity to this day. All right, we served other gods. And guess what? We were delivered into the hands of our enemy. If you ever wanted to know why we went into slavery, this is it. This is one of the reasons why. When we followed other gods, when we do that, the Lord always sends us into slavery. Whithersoever they went out, the hand of the Lord was against them for evil, as the Lord hath said, and as the Lord hath sworn unto them, and they were greatly distressed. Nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a whoring after other gods and bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord, but they did not so. All right. So they didn't walk in the way of their fathers. When you walk, you obey and have faith in the Lord. Okay. Whenever you see when it says they walked in the ways of the Lord, that's what that is. All right. And when the Lord raised them up judges, then the Lord was with the judge and delivered them out of the hand of the enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented the Lord because of their groanings by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. So it was a number of times this happened back and forth. It was Israel went off, judge got sent up. Israel went off, judge got sent up. Israel went off, judge got sent up. That has nothing to do with being a famine of the word. Israel was just being rebellious, man. Because you still had Israelites that believed, but the majority of Israelites were being wicked. Okay? Causing all hell to come upon Israel, and that's why they cried out, like, Lord, please deliver us, man. Okay? But it was a number of times. It's not a famine. It's just Lord was being, Israel was being hard headed, man. Okay? They were being rebellious. All right? Going back into this story, that's a couple of points that they bring out about famines. They say that famine actually talked about not receiving the word of the Lord. No, that's different from behold the days come that it'll be a famine from actually even hearing it. Okay, which is different from it being taught and people rebelling from it and not listening. You see that? All right. So I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go on that aspect of that. You can go through here and listen to yourself. Listen for yourself. All right. They also talk about Phares. I'm gonna see if I can find that. Phares and the sons Mahalan. Let me see if I can find that because I just want to touch on that point. Just on that point alone. All right.
The Lord, through Gideon and other Israelites, delivered Israel out of the hands of the Midianites. Judges chapter 6, verse 1 proves this. Chilion and Mahlon didn't die because of marrying women that aren't Israelites. Ruth and Orpah are both Israelite women. The two brothers died for taking on the customs of the Moabites.
Which when you read Ruth, okay, when you read Ruth, the first chapter, it don't say that. It said verse 5, and Mahlan and Chilion died also both of them, and the woman was left of her two sons and her husbands. Okay, because they're trying to link this one up with the time in Judges. Okay, well let me keep reading. Well, not reading. Let me keep playing the clip. All right.
Ruth chapter 4, verse 12 mentions a similitude.
Now pay attention to this. They said Ruth chapter 4, verse 12. is a similitude or a likeness or an example, right? Ruth 4 and 12. All right. All right. Let them say it and then we're going to go back to it. All right.
Ruth chapter 4, verse 12. And let thy house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman.
Genesis chapter 38, verses 6 through 10 explains that two brothers were put to death by the Lord for reasons that aren't for marrying a woman that isn't an Israelite. Let's read the scriptures.
Genesis chapter 38, verse 6 through 10. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan.
Now, question is Tamar, okay? When you look at the word, when you look at Tamar, okay, in Genesis 38, all right, 38 and 6, where they were. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Now, was Tamar an Israelite? Okay, that's my question to you now. Was Tamar an Israelite? Okay, because obviously Judah took a wife for his firstborn. Okay, no, I want to know, is Tamar an Israelite? All right, we're going to keep this in mind moving forward.
Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also.
Ruth.
And that's the reason why he died. When you go to Genesis 38 and verse 9, okay, because he was told what, to go into the brother's wife. Okay, he was told specifically to do that. All right, because in doing so, that'll raise up seed to your brother. All right, and it said that in Onan verse 9, and Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife that he spilled it on the ground. He poured out and spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also for that act. By doing that, instead of giving her seed unto the brother, that's why he was killed. Okay? Well, mind you, the woman is still what? Tamar. Now, is Tamar still, the question is Tamar an Israelite? Okay? Please, is Tamar an Israelite? Because so far, by reading this, and then when you go down, she still keeps that law that was set up by Israel. Okay, because remember, she was wifed off to Judah's son. All right, and in turn, what, she was still following under the customs of Israel. Okay, when you look, it says, verse 11. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah my son be grown. For he said, lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Now remember, all right, we know that us here at Great Millstone, we know that Tamar is not an Israelite. All right, but why would she have to wait for Shelah to get older? Because Shelah was also what, the son of Judah. Why should she got to wait to him? Why can't she just go get another man? She wanted to still keep that custom of what, next of kin, even though she herself wasn't an Israelite. All right. So Ruth wasn't the only one that what, wanted to be amongst Israel and keep that custom. All right. It happened even with Tamar. Okay. Even, hell, man, even going back to Moses when he married Jethro's daughter. Okay. He had her circumcise Gershom. Okay. All right. That was the covenant of circumcision. He made her do it. All right. Think about that. Was she an Israelite? All right. So you had cases where it was heathen women that still what they partook in that next of kin with Israel, man. All right. I'm gonna keep playing this clip.
Chapter 4, verse 12 explains why Mahlon and Chilion were put to death. They they weren't keeping the commandments,
He's,
not
now he
having
said
married women that are.
now he said 4 verse 12 tells why they were put to death because they wasn't keeping the commandments. Now when you read Ruth 4 and 1 on down, the marriage of Ruth, right? Of the kinsman, next of kin, right? Let's jump down to verse 11. And all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, we are witnesses, the Lord make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and like Leah, which two did build the house of Israel. So her purpose of coming into joining, all right, Boaz was what? To build the house of Israel, that line of Judah still. And do thou worthily in Ephratah and be famous in Bethlehem. Watch this, verse 12. And let thy house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah. Okay? Of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. Okay? All right? And remember, it said, let thy house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah. Okay? All right? And then it says what? Of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. Why is it like that? When you go, why is this also said? Okay? When you go to Matthew, the first chapter, and that's why we look, Yahawashi is our foundation, man. The Lord is our foundation. He is the word. All right. In history, all right, in prophecy, all right. He is the word. In genealogy, everything surrounds Yahawashi in the spirit, man. Okay? Matthew 1 and 1. The book of the generation of Yahawashi HaMashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren. Now notice you don't hear anything about the women at all. And this is all what from Abraham on down and going through Judah. Okay, all right, Judas and his brethren, and Judas begat Pharez. Remember, it said what? And let thy house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this woman. So let thy house be like the house of Pharez. Okay, and when you go back, it says, and Judas begat Pharez, and Zerah of Thamar. Okay, and Pharez begat Ezram, and Ezram begat Aram. Okay, now mind you, Judas begat, or Judah, okay, begat Pharez and Zerah of Tamar. Okay, now we know that Tamar right there, or it says Tamar right there, was a heathen. And you notice all the other instances, you don't see Israelite women at all. It's always what? Abraham begat Isaac, Isaac begat Jacob. You don't hear anything about Sarah. You don't hear anything about Rebecca. You don't hear anything about Leah. Okay, you see? But at this particular point, Judas begat Pharez and Zerah of Thamar. They mention the woman's name. Why is that? Because this is a significant event within what? A Yahushua's line in Judah. The fact that they were begotten of a heathen woman, Thamar. See? All right? And when you go down, and Pharez begot Ezram, and Ezram begot Aram, and Aram begat Aminadab, and Aminadab begot Naason, and Naason begot Salmon, and Salmon begot Boaz, or Rahab. Okay, Rahab was another heathen. Okay, all right. And Boaz begat Obed, a Ruth. See, Boaz begat Obed, a Ruth, and Obed begat Jesse. See that? Boaz begat Obed, a Ruth. Remember? And let thy house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this woman. All right. And Boaz of Rahab, and Boaz begat Obed, a Ruth. Yeah, because Boaz was going to get with a heathen woman, Ruth, and still keep the line of Judah going. And as you can see, Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David. You see that? And then this particular point, it says, begat David the king, and David the king begat Solomon of her that had been the wife of Uriah. But you notice it doesn't mention her name. Okay, but Bathsheba, she was an Israelite. All right, but remember, this is a significant event that happened within the line of Israel, and within the line of Judah, and Yahushua's line, because it said what? It says, and David the king begat Solomon of her that had been the wife of Uriah. Remember, that was an event there. All right, King David committed adultery to acquire this woman. So that's why that was of her that had been the wife of Uriah and had Uriah killed. But even then, it says of her. It don't even mention her name. It's like the rest of them. It don't mention the rest of the Israelite women's name. The truth be told, when a man and woman gets together, they're one. Okay, the woman falls under the name of the man, so there's no need to mention that. Okay, that's another aspect of looking at it. Okay, all right, but these were significant events because they were heathen. You see that? Tamar was a heathen. Okay, Rahab was a heathen, and Ruth was a heathen. All right. That's why, like I said, our foundation is through Yahawashi in history, genealogy, prophecy. He is the word. And we're able to use his genealogy to show you that these particular people are heathen using his genealogy. You see that? All right. So again, I know that Ruth is a Moabite based even off of Matthew, the 1st chapter alone. And Ruth, the 4th chapter, in the 12th verse, and let thy house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah. See that? Let your house be even like his house. Because his house, what Judah got with a heathen woman. And still continue the seed of Judah. All right? So that's the aspect I wanted to go on about this in response to this. I hope the Akim out there have been edified. And, if these people out here ask questions and they like, you're wrong, you're off, and you go to their page and they have nothing, there's no need to entertain that, man. All right? There's no need to entertain that, man. All right? Call Haloim Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kwadash, and as always, to the elect, double shalom.